Now for him, it's all feel. Goes with the gut.
And by the way, lest people think that we are being judgmental, as judgment could be rendered here by queens against the eights. Elias was 700 in front of him. Many of the most successful poker players out there are very much into the solver side of things and have leveraged that to great success. So we're not suggesting that that's the wrong way to go about things, but we're always tickled by those who break with the convention, and the fact that Mizrachi this past summer won the PPC and the main as a player who also breaks from that convention really made a case for having some respect for the players that are a little bit more street artists. Meanwhile, you see the artistry of another 125K being mulled over by Foxen's eights here.
Yeah, we got problems. 2 8s. This is probably right at the bottom. She's going to want to go with it.
And she does say all in. Darren did find top of range. Kenny's 95,000 out there, maybe allowing Chrissy to think that Elias could be put into the bin, have some 3-bet folds. Not the case, of course, with 2 queens. As Foxen is in trouble. 4-1 dog.
I'd rather have the king come out right now. One of you?
King 9-7, the queens. Prettier than they were a moment ago. Might there be a little straight draw for Foxen? Yes, there will. Now, the jack won't work, but we add 6s to the 8s before them for a total of 6 outs. One time. A little bit of a breath hold for Darren. With $1.5 million in the middle, can he hang on and find the double? Yes, he can. Look at Coleman, by the way, with a little wrist candy. The bling off that fluted bezel Jubilee bracelet rolly.
What? What was that to do with the flute?
Just take my word for it, buddy. I'll handle the horology from in the booth.
600,000.
Did you call it rollology? Is it a Rolex?
It's a Rolex, but, you know.
Fruit or flute?
Yeah, just fluted.
Fluted?
Yeah.
That's like me during the promos. I'm also fluted.
Yeah. You're a lot of things.
Queen.
Kenny with King 6, already having invested a couple of blinds, gave it a chew and thrilled that Coleman is showing up as wide a range as she would have hoped. This Queen 5.
And she gets it in good.
Not going to work this time.
She staved off elimination twice already, just before the break, and now just after it. Can she do it again? Taking the best of it and hanging on the Ace-Jack-9 board. Looking to keep queens and 5s at bay. Oh, and unable to do so on the turn, but she does have 10s to give her Broadway. 2 of them unavailable. 7-outer in theory, 5-outer in actuality. 4, check it, as only 1 10 is available. What will it be? It's the 5 as Coleman goes runner, queens up and claims the first pelt of this final table for Ebony Kenney. She didn't put a foot wrong, Brent. And I'm not so sure anybody in that seat was going to wind up with more than $48,000 on the day.
Survived as long as she could.
Yeah, that ace king.
7th place. Only came into the day with 3 bigs.
Ace-Jack for Cherish. And the click is right, she decides, off of that depth. Call it 13 bigs coming in. Coleman chewing on the suited connector.
Yeah, he is. Just out.
Doesn't get frisky. 6s now for Green.
Ooh, boy.
He has 15K less than Cherish's 430 behind. She's got him covered.
Yeah, the 2 shortest stacks. May he want to just grip and rip and see if Cherish has any folds, but no, doesn't want to find out.
I think he's appropriately assigning a pretty narrow range to Cherish. If she's willing to just min raise, it feels like there's some things in there that want you to do the heavy lifting. So instead, it is Foxen left to defend with the suited queen. And she finds herself a wheel draw and a flush draw here versus top pair for Andrews. She's got a club in hand as a blocker, but the threats are self-evident.
Well, lights, camera, we've got action.
Yes, there's somewhere.
You have to imagine this just gets in.
Brother?
10 seconds.
Brother? This is a little eager right here.
65,000.
Why using your right hand is because you can't use the chip position.
Boy, this is a little weird.
I always use my right hand when I
For
grab
Kristen,
chip.
way too much hand to go away.
You
How
want
often do we
left or right?
think the check raise
I'd rather
earns
go
the pot here and now?
I just-
Pretty unlikely.
Except
But
right-handed
also the
left, right?
price is just so sort of sweet where you can call. But this check raise is committing, right? Okay, let's play for it all.
All right, warm up.
Yep, I think Cherish is definitely going to bring the jam, and we're going to be off to the races with 2 to come.
Around the rim is so hard. Not me. You're a better shooter than you're a finisher.
Cherish knows that
I mean, maybe now, but
the money probably just
have to
goes
stop
in,
talking
right?
about it.
There's not a lot of
You're
check
going full
raise. We
speed.
just fold
Yeah,
if we
I'm so
shove.
bad.
Now deciding, all right,
I'm feathered in.
I hope it's not 4-5, and I'm up against the wheel.
So she does say all in, and they're on their backs. Thrilled, of course, to be healthily in front is Andrews. But you see 44% in front of Fox in a lot of ways to break that lady's heart right there. The only person still giving us a sweat for the overall series title.
What a moment for Andrews.
And the moment just got sweeter. Ace on the turn. Trips, still looking to fade 5s and clubs. Can she hold and haul in almost 1.1 and keep this race for the double eagle alive against her boyfriend Brock, who looks on with bated breath? And yes, a 4 isn't going to cut it.
We move. Andrews, a full double.
But there's so much room for all of your
Right, this
extremities
move here.
over there that don't need to be in my sight line.
All
2
in.
10s, by the way. Nothing extreme about
Ooh.
this choice from Rick Green. 9s for Foxen on the button.
Notice that 10-9 exactly also hits the muck, so only 1 out for Foxen.
This is my lucky pair. Oh, did you? Wow.
Mine too.
Really?
I had 9, 10. I like 10s.
9.
Let's see if I like 'em today.
Very lucky.
Bit of a cooler,
You had 9.
to say the least.
Well, listen,
All right.
what would be a cooler is if these 9s somehow dethrone these 10s. Not looking likely on this flop. King 7, 6, 930 in the middle.
He had no sweat.
I had no sweat, yeah. The deal.
And are both of those 9s
I was dead.
shaded up at the top there?
Oh, wow. There's
I think
just
she's
nothing
actually
left.
drawing dead. So little does Green know it, but there is no sweat coming on this river, and his patience is going to be rewarded here at the expense of Foxen, who continues to just bob up and down in terms of chip counts on the down to 1.1. Are you off your meds? Just
What's that? No, I take an allergy pill daily.
you may want to
Got to take it.
consider
Allergy season.
Yeah.
It's upon us.
some other, just something, sedative. Nothing on the upper side. Just
Give me an example of a sedative. By the way, is
know.
that what you have to stick up? 4s here for Cherish.
no, it's not that. Hard 8.
She's committed herself 200. This is kind of cagey.
Oh, 1-4 into the bin, by the way.
Yeah.
Right?
She is in front of Coleman, though. Wound up flatting the 200.
Uh-oh. Maybe the very exact type of texture where I mean, can we just fold or find folds whenever you have 2 4s?
Yeah, I'm glad to see she didn't just blast that extra 135 in there with these 4s. Let's see if Coleman will presume that she's pot committed. And with top pair and a gutter, just fire.
10 seconds.
130.
130.
Yeah, this is frustrating for Cherish.
By the way, don't overlook the fact that he drew up 130 as opposed to 135, because as the chip leader, getting her to call this and then allowing her to stick around with 5K gives him some timeline to just do his bidding. Oh, and Cherish
You don't want lunch money?
says all of it.
Just 1 out. Spades, though.
You heard Coleman say you don't want lunch
What a
money?
check
He's a
the
little
ball,
bit
yeah.
surprised that she would put the extra 5 in as opposed to allow herself a chance to fight on potentially.
Got 130.
I think you had 135 now. She does. Yeah.
You know,
How
it
would you
may
check it
not
out?
be very consequential, but
What
it
a
is
push
worthy
there.
of note. You would think Cherish would be more inclined to flat that spot.
Yeah, one-handed fuckery.
And
Not really.
the spot
There's
ain't
no-
great
There's not that much money in the pot,
Anybody
right?
4 to 4?
But if she doubles, then I get the fuck.
for
I don't remember.
Andrews.
I'm at 10-4.
And it isn't looking any better on this turn. Only one of the 2 remaining 4s in the deck actually live. A stone 1-outer for Cherish Andrews to keep her hopes alive here for the overall series title. Otherwise, it will go to Brock Wilson. What says the deck? It says King High Straight
Good luck.
for David
guys.
Coleman as he finally breaks the 6-handed gridlock. Andrews fought hard and fought long, but in the end, 6th was all she could muster. A single pay ladder of
That's a
$24,000,
great picture.
$72,000 going her way as the Golden Eagle and overall series title will belong to Brock Wilson. No question that he's very proud of her.
We're on break after this.
Yeah. Slow it down, you know. It's not going, it's not
Just
going
the
fast.
second ever back-to-back PGT Major champion is Wilson in history. Sean Winter, the only other
The champion.
to ever accomplish that feat. So there it is officially on
There it is.
the video wall. 25K PGT passport also going to go his way.
Play free online poker at playpokergo.com. Real players, no bots. Ring games, tournaments, non-stop action. Authentic, fun, and always free.
Baby suited ace for Jesse.
All in.
That's what he saw when he peeked down here.
Action.
Coleman with 5s.
Yep.
Makes the call. 1.1 million in the middle. Could we have another casualty?
What, you want green? Huh? You want green?
Coleman threatening
don't
the
feel good?
prepay.
I feel great. Every time I'm all
How do
in,
you
I
feel,
expect to
Jesse?
win.
What are you gonna?
2-1
50-50.
favorite roughly is David.
A little less now.
Make it better than that
Got
on the
diamonds.
King 8-4
Five,
board.
Straight flush draw.
Diamonds. I'll take it.
4 of diamonds, the
I have
focal
no clue
point.
who's gonna win.
Diamonds come in turn for sure.
6 of diamonds.
9 on the turn, doesn't provide any backdoor draws to Jesse, and only an ace will spare him from a 5th place fate.
GG.
Instead, it's a
Yeah.
deuce. No cider. Heart, not the one he needed, though. And not far removed from the departure of Cherish Andrews. Lonis following in her footsteps, but doing so
Great
with
photo.
24K more than she was able to
Great what?
amass,
Photo?
96,000.
It looks like
What was that about 10-5 suited? 120. Precisely what Coleman has drawn up this time. Again, green out of the way. Foxen with a playable one, ace-8. And she knows that Coleman has now really got a nice setup for himself, Brent. with she and Elias hamstrung a bit by the presence of Green's 585 out there.
Yeah, she knows this, but also you just kind of have to abide, right?
Yeah.
You're not 3-betting very often in these spots. Calling when out of position.
Here she is with backdoor nut clubs and a gutter on the 9-6-5 board where Coleman has made bottom pair.
This is a really nice board for Foxen. It interacts with her hand so well, despite not having anything other than ace-high and a gutter. Really curious how she decides to play this if Coleman does bet. Does check, though, for Coleman. A nice start there. And what a turn for Chrissy.
Binky. Top pair, free of charge. She slips it over. I wonder if Coleman wants to rep this. Now he does look down at his chips. We've seen him check despite doing so before, and that's precisely what he does this time as well. 10 on the end, and now he finds the lead with 2 pair. Is Chrissy going to try to set the price?
And this is going to be really sick if she bets and Coleman puts in the raise with 2 pair.
It's not a given that she's going to fire, though, is it, Brent?
No, it's not, but understandably so, right? It went check, check on flop and turn. Coleman has really put himself in a favorable spot. If he puts in the raise, Ali, it kind of looks like, oh, did you just river a set of 10s? But that being said, why didn't you bet the flop with an overpair, right? So it almost has to be 10-6, 10-5. Really? You have 2 pair that somehow completed? This is miserable for Foxen. I suspect that this raise is coming, and she's going to have an agonizing decision.
And Coleman's going to be pretty cozy with the raise, given that she checked twice before firing at this river. Not impossible, I suppose, that she has some 7-8 from time to time,
575.
looking to induce a bet out of that ace, which favors the opener's range. But he is going to take his chances, and those chances don't seem too risky.
It's really hard.
575, 410 more
Yeah,
to take a peek.
it's so tough. I mean, he's telling a story like he's made a hand on the river. Well, he has. Question is, can she assign enough holdings to make a very big and correct laydown?
Time extension. Seconds. 1.2.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Of all the options, Brent, we did not see this out of Chrissy.
Absolutely filthy. Absolutely filthy. Using that 8 in her hand, a key card. Also, when you have an ace, it sort of could just be aces up.
This is so nifty. And just consider that she's left herself 395 back. Green has 585. Would Kristen ever get herself into this kind of exchange with me with less than 10s up? That's the thought on Coleman's mind, and the backdrop certainly lends to us feeling less proud of this holding.
It's almost like she said, yeah, I kind of think he did make 2 pair with a 10, but I have ace-8. This board is scary if I put in a 3-bet on the river. Absolutely filthy from Kristen Foxen, whether it gets called or not. Incredible play.
Coleman just trying to unpack this.
I mean, Ali, he has to really just find ace-7 and ace-8 and say she's turning it into a bluff. That's it. Wow. Wow.
You know,
Which card?
Yes. This one?
oh boy. Once Kristen shows the ace, oddly, you're sort of thinking, okay, I made a good laydown.
No, I don't know about that.
Story, just given Foxen has woken up with an ace-king.
160.
She says hello. Not quite 3x.
10 seconds.
And Elias has a couple of blinds committed already here. So he is going to defend. So we'll see 3. Oh, and bottom 2. For Darren, smashing this board. Foxen, of course, backdoor spades and the gutter here.
And if Foxen bets, she has to call.
10 seconds.
Will be priced in with ace-king on this type of board. And she's just going to put him on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, here we go.
Trying to make things straightforward. Darren, of course, quite pleased to see this. Displeased is Foxen to realize that she is in dire straits. One pair's not going to cut it. A jack and only a jack for the time being to get us to 3-handed action. Well, hang on.
Uh-oh.
No longer is it only a jack, as you see Chrissy quite pleased to expand her outs to 12 in total. Aces and queens and kings. Anything jack or higher. And instead a clean deuce secures the double for Darren Elias. To a male libations maiden.
You're going to have to say that a male...
We didn't have a cocktail waitress out there.
Libations
That was our
aid?
bartender.
Yeah, that was Rourke, the bartender.
Yeah. Hang on a sec here. Elias has limped the ace-6.
Yeah.
We expect abuse from Coleman in the face of this with some frequency.
Yeah, and this is good enough to obviously put in
240.
a raise and stand a call if Elias finds the limp jam.
Well,
I don't know if he will because green is so short.
but, you know, he could leverage that to make his hand look that much stronger, because why would he be willing to risk the 48K, which he rates to be able to pick up, but he has decided to move all in. You see Coleman sighing. This is a much larger quotient of his chips than he would love to be getting it in with, and yet he just does it. Ace-9 suited, too good, and he's in great shape here against Darren.
Massive pot for both, clearly.
Green loves to see it, by the way. The covering stack with the better hand, dominating. Boy, all of that patience which Darren had that worked his stack up into this territory now could come undone in a hurry. Couple of diamonds on the board. The 6 working as well. He needs a knock at the back door here in a 3.7 million chip pot. And he gets it. No, sorry. Thought that was the open-ended card. It's a 4, not the tray.
Can chop a lot here.
Yeah. 10s and 5s would do that trick.
like a-
Instead, it's
like
the
a-
7. The 9 plays, and that's it for Darren Elias. Showered in 4th, 126K.
Yes, yes.
It's a brutal one for Big Brisket.
Want free online poker? PlayPokerGo.com has free rolls running every hour. Real games, real players, always free at PlayPokerGo.com.
10 seconds. 20.
King, queen jam here from green. Ace 9 of clubs. That's what Coleman put to work to claim the pelt of Jesse Lonis in 4th. Might he be using it to shower green in 3rd? Rick, patient, preferring to get his chips in motion as a jam as opposed to a call-off. You saw the 5s
Saw paint
in the
again.
bin.
You can see it.
It's not that's like decent paint. Bottom's queen jack.
Not the king queen, though. A 3-2
Could be
dog
silly,
heading
yeah,
to
probably
the
right in
flop.
middle. Probably below average because you could get a pair.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
2 million chip exchange here. And top pair for Coleman. Doesn't change the notion that green needs to find a king or a queen.
You also saw 2 different colors, I guess, too, right? So
Ten or a jack. To find the backdoor straight draw would be of service. Instead, it's the ace, and it's a wrap just like that.
yeah, I'd
Yeah.
love to.
Okay, I'm like dying.
I would go
Thank
for
you.
GG, Mr. Green.
Chrissy's
That's a heck of a run. 3rd place,
Thank you, okay.
174,000.
It's her button, right?
Saw that footnote on Coleman, his
10 seconds.
last live win. Coming late last year. Trying to snatch another one here, and in prime position to do so. Limps the 6-3 offsuit. Chrissy says, let's see 3. King, queen, jack board. She's got middle pair. Coleman doesn't have any bluffs on his mind for the time being. Does find a 6 here on the turn.
Well, he caught up. If Chrissy thought she was trapping with that pair of queens, and this could lead to some action, right? We're going to value bet with our queen, and I'm not so certain that Coleman is going away, now making a pair.
You know, he doesn't have to fight for these ones, and there is some value to keeping his thumb down on Chrissy's stack. You know, we can simply bid adieu to a small pot should we choose, but for 120, one could understand him proceeding, which he does. Trip queens now on the end. Backdoor diamond arrival. Coleman with the 3 of diamonds. $480 in the middle.
I don't think that we're really all that worried about diamonds. Most of
250.
Coleman's suited hands probably would have been all in pre. Chrissy's studying Coleman very carefully.
10 seconds.
All in.
Wow. Oops.
Whoa.
Yeah, turning it into a bluff.
I
Boy.
mean, this is wild. Only 500 back for Foxen, and this decision is for her tournament
It
life.
just doesn't look like it should ever be a bluff either,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Given the amount of chips, but Coleman is trying to fold out
I mean, to bet this size.
like a jack
Weird.
10 seconds.
or a king. I don't think he's ever trying to fold 3 queens.
Fold.
Wow, and this works.
Oh, my goodness. These two have really gone after each other. And ask yourself whether or not with 6-3 you're ever doing that. Pocket
An opportunity to
tens.
win here, Ali.
For Foxen, though, she's thinking about the W.
10 seconds.
Limping,
Trapping, yeah.
trying to induce David to do her work for her. Will Queen 8 oblige?
10 seconds.
All in.
Yes, it will. And this is playing out perfectly for Chrissy. Now she can double to 1.76 million. Only one overcard to worry about. Interfering with pathways to the straights. Excellent setup. 72% is Foxen to make a match out of this. Coleman, you can see a little bit annoyed. Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Queen Jack 9. Top pair putting Coleman in front. Now he's the man interfering with Foxen's pathways to the straight as she flops open-ended. And looks for kings and 8s. Instead, it's trip queens. The 8, no longer of service. A king or a 10 only will bail out Chrissy from a bad beat. Can she connect? No!
GG.
Good game, Kristen.
And that's it.
Great.
David Coleman
GG.
is your Event 10 champ. Chip leader coming in, $420,000
Thank you.
for his efforts. And boy, did he earn it on more than one occasion.
Thank you.
Couple filthy bluffs for Coleman. Nearly went wire to wire, but Kristen Foxen gave it her all. Outstanding performance, runner-up,
Yeah,
as always.
I'm co-signing on that. I mean, Foxen really did give it her all. $264K for her efforts, but
420. Woo.
Coleman juiced. As you see the fruits of his labor, 156K added. He was always the favorite, just based on chip disparity, to take down this Event 10 title. But not the overall crown. That, of course, going to Brock Wilson. As Cherish Andrews gave us a sweat. But the punctuation point on this year's USPO being put on by David Coleman. Big, bright smile and plenty of pride as he adds to his north of $17 million in career tournament earnings. And it certainly was a fitting
Appreciate it.
final table.
It's a historic final table, Ali.
Yeah, that it was. Back-to-back major titles for Brock Wilson and more results for the talents that joined us here at this FT. And we thank you for joining us for the entirety of this particular major. It has been a pleasure on behalf of our entire team here in Las Vegas, including Brent Hanks here in the booth. This is Ali Najad saying so long, and we'll see you next time from the USPO. See ya.